What's up guys, it's Roger, and today I am the Golden Knight walking around looking absolutely dripped up from head to my little baby toes. Some people ask for the drip sometimes, so here you go if you are interested. This is what I'm running, there you go, you take that all down baby. This is the first time Iron Mossbone has ever been a good shader for me, but hey, first time for everything, right? Now as for today's build, it's a pretty fun one, and I think you guys will like what we got going on here, so let's start breaking it down. Now first of all, I'm going to be using the Crimson Hand Cannon. I was using this the other day for the first time, trying it out, and I absolutely loved this thing. It was melting people, it felt very consistent, barely any recoil, doesn't take too much flinch, it has great perks. Every time you can get a kill with this thing, it's going to reload the weapon fully, when it's a headshot kill at least, and you get healed off of that, and it's like an instant full heal. It's amazing. It is a 3-round burst, of course, that's the whole thing with this exotic, you know, it's like a pulse rifle, had a baby with a hand cannon. I don't really know what they're sticking in what to have that baby, but hey, here we are, and it's called Crimson. For our close range engagements, I am going to be using the Matador 64 shotgun. Absolutely love this thing. Got a little perpetual motion right here. 1-2 punch, obviously not the best in the world, but this is the best Matador that I have. Love this thing. 90 range, feels absolutely crispy. We are going to be using the Shinobu's Vow exotics right here. Now people sleep on these a lot, but skip grenades can actually be very good, especially when you have jolting nades on, which we do, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. Now this says it improves your skip grenade, and you get an additional skip grenade charge. Skip grenade returns energy when it damages enemies. So we throw this in, and we have 2 of them, right? It goes in there, it jolts our target, it does damage, and the more damage it does, the more energy we get back for the next skip grenade. You're basically always going to have a nade up with this build. It's absolutely amazing. It's so easy to get like half the shields off an enemy, if not more. If enemies are close to each other holding hands, it does a bunch of jolt between them. These skip grenades, I'm telling you, do not sleep on them, especially if you're running with a very unified and put together stack. These things will help you guys team shot beautifully. Now, let's go ahead and look at all the mods we have here. Obviously, I just have some regular targeting type stuff, some unflinching. For the ways to spawn orbs of power is the same thing that I always use. I use heavy-handed, firepower, and the Reaper mod. So, we can spawn an orb of power if we get a kill with our empowered melee, if we get a kill with our nade, which is pretty simple with these skip grenades. You'll see a lot of kills with these skip grenades in the gameplay today, and if we use our dodge and then get a kill, we do get an orb of power. So that's the 3 ways to get orbs of power. We then have innervation, orbs of restoration, and absolution as our 3 mods that we have here that will give us energy back to our abilities when we pick up an orb of power. Finishing off our mods, we do have the bomber mod here, which is one of my favorite in the entire game. This reduces your grenade cooldown when you use your class ability. So you dodge, and with 2 of these on, you get around 20 to 25% of your nade energy back just from doing a dodge. Sometimes when I spawn in, and I don't have a nade up, but it's really close to coming up, I'll just use my dodge and spawn, which then gives me my nade back by the time I get to lane. And you get your dodge back so fast that it's not even that much of a loss. Now for our Arc 3.0, we do have Gathering Storm here, but I didn't get a super all day. These games are going so fast that I'm not even getting supers. The only people that are getting supers is Bubbles and Wells, and it's cap points, so it's not really fair in my opinion, but hey, whatever. Over here we have Gambler's Dodge, so when we dodge, that's going to recharge our melee ability if there's an enemy nearby. We have Blink on, of course, because I'm not some little freaky grasshopper boy, but if you do want to hop around like you got 2 legs under your feet, then you can do that. Over here we have Combination Blow, so when we kill somebody we do get healed, so this combined with our Crimson is going to give us 2 ways that we can heal up pretty easily. After that we have Skip Grenades on, of course, you know, we're using Shinobus, so I'm not going to go throwing around a bunch of Pulse Nades or something. We have Skip Grenades. We have Flow State over here for our first aspect. This is going to get jolted kills, make us amplified. This also gives some extra parts to our amplification, so our dodge recharges more quickly, and you're more resilient while you do dodge. Your reload speed is also greatly increased while you have this flow state and amplified. After that, we have Lethal Current for our second aspect here. That's another 2 fragment slots. This says after you dodge, the next time you go into an engagement with your melee, it's going to have farther lunge. It also does a damaging explosion afterwards. This is going to jolt targets, so that's just another way we can easily get amplified off getting kills with our Lethal Current. Now for our fragments, we got some fun ones here. Of course, Spark of Haste, one of the best fragments in the game in my opinion. This is going to give you plus 30 to resilience, recovery, and mobility while you're sprinting. And you heard me correctly there, that's a plus 30. So you're going to notice I have pretty low mobile, but just by sprinting, that goes from 40 to 50, 60, 70. Usually I do it on a lightweight weapon, or I try to have a little bit higher of mobile, but you get your dodge back so many ways by having amplified, by having this Spark of Haste, that you don't really need to run super high mobile, but I understand people are like addicted to 100 mobile on their hunter, so if you want to run that, I completely understand. I only have this mod on because I needed the recov for my build, so that's why that's on. Over here we have Spark of Recharge. This says while critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerate more quickly. This is somewhere between like a 200 to 500% boost whenever you're critically wounded, and your nade energy just flies up. Absolutely amazing fragment here. Highly recommend you use this. And like we said earlier, we do have arc grenades jolt targets, so definitely use that. Anytime you have a Shinobu's Vow or a Lucky Raspberry build, you want to use Spark of Shock just to give that extra little bit of help to your nades to do some extra damage and help you get amplified. Just to say, if you don't use Spark of Volts because you already have good Recuv, you can go ahead and run something. I would probably recommend you use Spark of Ions right here. This is defeating a jolted target, which you're going to do quite often with this build. Creates an Ionic Trace, which helps you get your abilities back that much faster. So again, if you do not want to use Spark of Volts because you don't need the extra stat boost, then use Spark of Ions would be my recommendation. So that is the whole build. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comment section or join the Blinkville Discord server. I'm going to have that linked in the top right and in the description. I'd love to see you in there. Now, all that being said, if you want to leave me a like or subscribe at any point in the video, I'd very much appreciate that. If you want to see my Warlock build that I made yesterday for this Trials of Osiris, then go ahead and check that out. I'll have that on the end screen so you can watch that next. But all that being said, I think we're ready to get into this gameplay, so why don't we go ahead and blink on into it. Now, since we are rocking the Golden Knight drip, I guess we better be saving some kind of princess or something, so let's name her Princess Sanity, and let's say that I lose my mind when I play Trials of Osiris. So to save Princess Sanity, what we need to do is win as many matches as we can. Well, this is a good build if you want to do that. Crimson is pretty good, obviously you saw right there, I can smack people's heads off pretty easily. You can throw in these skip grenades for really easy team shots. You can even do something like this. This is a very far flank I did. I went all the way on the outside, this guy was aiming down sights with his bow, not checking his radar. I throw in the skip grenade there, and unfortunately it didn't reach the target, but that was fine. I use my dodge before we go into combat, so I can proc my lethal current, so I can use it on the enemies. Now unfortunately this guy has some BS Arc Warlock melee and was able to kill both of us. You know, I don't even know if my teammate did damage to him, honestly, but that's alright. We're throwing in the skip grenade right there. You can see how much damage it's actually doing, and that guy is jolted now. I fly on his teammate and take him out. Now, where I threw that skip grenade is where I like to throw it a lot of the time. People love to push through that door at the beginning of a round. So if you can just chuck it through that door, it'll do a bunch of jolt damage, it'll hit a bunch of different targets, and then you can go in, finish one off, your teammates can finish them off, a lot of easy stuff like that. So that is the main place I look to throw my skip grenade. The other place might be to our right up top where the other door is, because people will push there a lot. If they spawn on that side, they'll go inside. So be careful of stuff like that. You can see right there how I'm throwing the skip grenades as well. I want to mention this because I feel like people don't use skip grenades that often, so if you don't, then maybe you need a little tips on how to throw them. Because it took me a while to actually figure out how to throw them correctly. Most grenades in the game, you're going to throw directly at your targets, you know? You might have something like a spike grenade, which you do throw at a wall so it can kind of bake them cheeks from the side, but besides that, most nades you throw directly at your target. This is not like that. What you want to do is let it skip to your target, you know? This son of a bitch is playing hopscotch, and he's trying to get all the way to the end. So you need to kind of throw it a few meters away from your target, and that's going to actually let it start tracking. After it does that first skip, then it's going to start doing its tracking, right? So make sure you're keeping that stuff in mind. Do not throw it directly at your targets. If you do, it's not going to be very good for you. Just like how I threw it right there. See how much damage the thing just did? It tracked all the way around those boxes. The tracking is actually very good on these skip grenades, but you need to give it the space to do that tracking. If you don't, then it's just going to do a dud, you know, hit the wall, not do any damage to your targets, and obviously we don't want to see that. Now you can see here, I love pushing mid with this build because it's very good for locking down the mid area, and that's where, you know, heavy's going to spawn, things like that. Obviously it's very good because we have our Crimson, which is perfect range for that area, but as well we have our lethal current and our shotgun to really lock that area down. Right there, look at my nade energy in the bottom left. Look how much nade energy we have right now. I just used the nade on that guy, but I picked up one overpower because my nade killed him, and all the damage the nade did itself refreshed a bunch of its energy from the Shinobu's Vow. And that's what I was trying to tell you earlier, you know, watch my energy bars a lot of times when I play this game throughout this video, because you'll see they fly right back up just from the easiest things. Now we take out that first guy. I didn't want him to get the res on that first guy, so I fly back in, punch him once, and then shotgun him really easily. If you're having trouble landing your shotgun shots, which it happens to the best of us, sometimes you're just having a bad day. It happens to me quite frequently, you know, your shotgun shots are off. If you are having trouble, it's a little riskier, but what you can do is punch your enemy first, especially if you're exiting a blink, because once you punch your enemy, it's obviously going to put your targeter directly on top of the enemy, and then you can shoot after that, and it'll be much more likely that you actually do a lot of damage to them and hit center of mass with your shotgun. You can see that round right there. I absolutely destroyed them with the skip grenade. Beautiful stuff. And right there, that is a good skip you want to do if your enemies are anywhere near the middle top door. But obviously no enemies are in there, so it didn't do too much for us that time. But again, right there, tracking on that one was actually really solid. You can see that actually broke that guy's shields with one skip grenade. My teammates could have easily finished him off, but you know, who knows, maybe they were having a little lazy day, so I had to do it myself, which is completely fine. Smack this guy with a shotgun, trying to push onto the second guy, so we slide into him. No, we just jump. We take him up with a nice little shotgun melee. You'll love to see that. Combination blow will start stacking after the first guy and do more damage with each punch after that, so you can keep that in mind. It's some pretty good stuff, as well as the fact that combination blow will stay active when you go to punch that second person, so you actually can get the healing off of it multiple times in a row. Again, another beautiful nade kill. That's going to spawn one overpower there, and that's very nice. If you actually kill somebody with the orb, or with the grenade, that'll spawn an overpower, then you could go in, kill them with your lethal current, or do a dodge and kill them, and you can get another overpower. There's a lot of ways that you can do easy, multiple orbs of power rounds with this build. Now, if you want to be very risky, you can do what I'm doing here and go straight under bridge and or even blink on top of bridge. If you really think you can smack that bush into the dirt, then go for it. Just like this, you know, I was pretty confident in my skill. So I went forward, smacked the first guy, kill him with my nade. We gotta remember, since I killed him with that nade to start with, we were instantly amplified. Then I push forward with that amplification, blink onto the second guy, absolutely track smack him into the dirt. My teammates follow up really well on that last guy. Honestly, blink can be a really good tool just for distracting people. You can blink above their head like some kind of toxic Easter bunny, and they're not gonna know where you're going. So if you wanna use it for that, you very much so can. Second melee did not track there, but that's okay. We were able to punch him and actually finish him off. Nice little two-piece for our teammates, and I said, there's no way they lose, right? I just killed two for them. They win this. They even have a Well of Radiance down. And, you know, I mean, it took them a few years, but they were able to finally hit some combined shots and take that third guy out. You know, I mean, they're using Immortal. What can I say? They're not exactly the brightest in the band. Now, this guy was about to hit my butt cheeks all the way into the second era of my life, but I said, no, brother, I'm gonna flick onto you, take you off the shotgun shot. We blink up top towards bridge, take out the second guy for a cleanup on that round right there. Don't know what happened to teammates, but hey, it happens. Sometimes you just gotta clean it up. You can see on the left side of the screen, Spark of Haste is always on. Again, that's our plus 30 to those resilience, recovery, and what is it? You know, the third stat. Mobility, that's what it is. And so that's very nice when we're running around here. Smack that first guy, smack the second guy, instant reload on our Crimson since I killed him with a precision shot there. Now we're looking at this third guy. I saw him behind the heavy here, so I wanted to take him out. Notice the bottom left of the screen. He has a rocket. I saw that, so I did this. I baited his shot out with a nice blink. Blink behind him to confuse him even more, and take him out with a good shotgun shot. If you see people have loaded a rocket, that's something you can actually bait quite easily, especially with blink. What you want to do is try to catch them around a corner. Blink past them. Oftentimes, they're going to think you're right on top of them when they see their radar. They're going to shoot that rocket into the ground, and then it's going to be completely wasted because you just blinked to the other side of them. You can then turn around and shotgun them very easily. Whatever kind of gun you have, obviously, take them out. But if they have anything like a grenade launcher, be careful of that. They will have multiple shots, and it will be a lot more dangerous for you to try and bait those shots out. But if it is a rocket launcher, blink is one of the best things in the game for baiting that ammo out of your enemy. Now you can see here we're coming towards mid. Again, I like to take shots with my Crimson in here. This is first round, so the enemy doesn't know what I'm doing. That tracking on that scatter grenade was pretty darn nuts, and it actually did a skip grenade, and it did a lot of damage, jolt our targets, so now I'm trying to fly up and help this teammate. But what I did is something that you need to keep in mind. I didn't push across to where my teammate was. I actually chilled in the doorway, and what I did was started watching my radar. Now, unfortunately, this guy gets a double melee before me, and my second melee that didn't connect, so I didn't get to kill him. Fuck you, Bungie, but that's okay. But be careful of that bridge area. If your teammate is on the flag, especially if the flag isn't up yet, don't just go join them. Sit in the doorway like I was doing before, and you will prosper a lot more. You can just wait for people to jump up and take them out, cover your teammates, stuff like that, because the second you start grouping up too much on this map is the second you're going to get your pussy bopped, and although that can be nice in the bedroom, we don't exactly want it in the middle of a Destiny match. Now this guy was backing up, so what I did is I used my dodge to grab my lethal current. I was amplified, so I knew to have that extra slide distance, so I used that to slide really close on top of him. The extra lunge distance from my lethal current was enough to just punch him in the bush twice and take him out quite easily. Smack that first guy, instantly reload my Crimson, and a full heal. I want to start smacking the second guy, so I start doing that. Now this round is actually really funny because look, I just killed all three of them. Did you even notice that I killed the second guy? Because I didn't. I was staring at my screen like fully ready to kill the third guy, and I was like, wait, what? And I went to the scoreboard and it was like, yeah, you killed all three. And I went, what are you talking about? I'm pretty sure I did not, Chief. But I watched the clip back right there, and it's just so funny because my skip grenade, again, it went down and it killed the third guy. And that stuff is just so funny to see, especially watching it back, because I love these little tracking nades. And skip grenade is such a beautiful example of a balanced tracking ability in this game. You know, there's a lot of tracking things in this game, such as like Osteostriga, you know, that take no skill. They didn't have to aim like I did right there to actually hit some heads. No, you can just shoot Osteosphere, it aims onto your targets and does the work for you. But the problem is, it kills very, very fast and like explodes your enemy. Skip grenades don't do that. They track, and the tracking is pretty decent, but they get caught on walls really easy. They're pretty slow, to be honest with you, although they will catch up to your target even if they are sprinting most of the time. But when they even get there, they don't even do that much damage. A lot of the times, all the actual skips don't even connect. So that's a very good balancing point for the skip grenades. I mean, look at that skip grenade, for example. That was very good tracking, but even still, I had to land a lot of bullets to still finish that guy off. And that's what I mean. I think the balancing point on skip grenades is actually really good, but at the same time, they're just extremely solid nades that people kind of overlook a lot of the time. Right here, again, we throw that in, this guy tries to run at me, skip grenade shots, that just takes both those guys out. It's beautiful. Now, we are entering the last few plays here, so I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Again, if you do want to leave me a like or subscribe, I'd very much appreciate that. Stick around, because on the end screen for you, I'm going to have the video from yesterday, which is my Blink Warlock gameplay and build and strategy for the Cauldron map here. If you're interested in watching that, it's similar to this video style, you would very much enjoy that, and I'd very much appreciate it. All that being said, I'm going to let these last two plays play out for you guys, and that is it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.